Hello dear student, this is Neelam Joshi, Assistant Professor in Department of Computer Science and Engineering, and today we will going to discuss about array and its representation, and the subject code of data structure is CS303. And here are the outlines which we will cover in today's video, in which prerequisites of topic, then problem objective, then we will discuss about linear data structure example array, and the terminology related with array, then categorization of array, then we will discuss about one dimensional array, and also we will understand that how the memory is represented in one dimensional array, then the example of 1D array, then assignment, learning outcomes and references. Now moving ahead, prerequisites of topic. Before discussing about array and its representation, you should have knowledge about what is the means of data structure, as well as various types of data structures, and the operation which we perform on various types of data structure. And also you should have knowledge about what is the means of algorithm and its criteria. And in my previous video I have already discussed about the what is algorithm, and in today's video I am just give you a brief intro of my previous video lecture, which is based on algorithm. So algorithm is just a step by step procedure which is usually define a set of instruction which is used to execute it in a certain order to get the desired output. And algorithms are generally created in the form of independent underlying languages. For example, an algorithm can be implemented in more than one programming language. Okay, as well as here I just also want to describe you that various types of data structures follows algorithm, but whenever we are using algorithm, then the operation involved in these algorithm is just categorized into searching, where algorithm is used to search the data structure, and sorting, in which we apply algorithm to sort the item in a specific order, either in the ascending or descending order. And for insertion, then we apply algorithm to find out the element position, and then insert the desired one. And also we need algorithm for updation, where we use algorithm to update an existing item in a data structure, as well as in the form of deletion, where algorithm is used to delete an existing item from a data structure. And also we discussed about various characteristics of algorithm in my previous video. So you just have knowledge about these types of characteristics, like input, what is the means of output, what is the means of finiteness, in feasibility, independency and unambiguousness. So you should knowledge about these algorithm on the basis of some factors, like how to devise algorithm, how to analyze algorithm, how to perform testing. Okay, as well as you should have knowledge about some pseudocode conventions. These pseudocode convention is generally used to write down the algorithm in a specific procedure in a sequential way. Okay, so in today's video the problem objective is defined as in which we will discuss briefly about what is array, and also we will discuss about categorization of array, and we will cover memory representation with the help of 1D example. Okay, now first of all, what is array? As I already mentioned you that it is the example of linear data structure in my previous video. So here you should have knowledge about what is the means of linear data structure. Okay. And data structure is said to be linear if its elements form a sequence, or in other words we can say that it is the formation of a linear list. Basically here two basic ways of representing such linear structure in memories. One way is have the linear relationship between the elements, which represented by means of sequential memory locations. Okay, and these linear structures are generally referred as the name array. So we can say that the array is often the only means for structuring data which is provided in a programming language. The means is that array is generally used as a kind of data structure that can store a fixed size sequential collection of elements of the same type. And this array is used to store a collection of data, but it is often more useful to think of an array as a collection of variables of the same type. And here we can say that array is used to store a collection of data, but it is more often useful to think of an array as a collection of variables of the same type. Okay, so instead of declaring individual variables such as in the form of number 1, number 2, number 3 till number whatever we are taking, we just declare one array variable such as number and use number 0 to number 1 to number nth number of element, which is used to represent individual variable. So here a specific element in an array is accessed by using an index, which is generally known as the name of the array. And all array consist of contiguous memory location, and here the lowest address correspond to the first element and the highest element of the representation of the last element. And if we choose the name A for the array, then the element of A are denoted by, if we are using subscript notation, then it is usually referred as A1, A2, A3 till AN. Otherwise we use parenthesis notation in the form of A, and then in the parenthesis we just write here 1, then 2, then 3 till nth number. Similarly, if we are using bracket notation, then it is represented in the form of bracket. So here the number is just write within the brackets in the manner like A1, A2, A3 till n number of element. So after discussing these notations, we just simply define array in the form of one dimensional array, or we can say that array is a set of homogeneous data items which are stored in contiguous memory locations under a common name and with sequence of indices which is starting from 0, and an array size is fixed and therefore require a fixed number of memory location, and it is a list of finite number n of similar data referenced respectively by a set of n consecutive number, which is usually represented as 1, 2, 3 till n number. And if we choose the name here A, then the representation is just like this, which I already mentioned. Okay, now moving ahead. Here in this diagram you can see that I am describing the best feature of array. Here it is defined as a consecutive set of memory location. Means if one asks a group of programmers to define an array, so the most common reply is saying in the form of a consecutive set of memory location, which I mentioned here in the form of best feature. But here I just want to mention you that this is unfortunate because it is clearly reveals a common point of confusion, which is namely the distinction between a data structure and its representation. And it is true that array are almost always implemented by using consecutive memory, but not always. Okay, so just keep this thing in mind, that this is one of the best feature, but still there is some constraint. Okay, and as array is a set of pairs, index and values, and here for each index which is defined, there is a value associated with that index. So in other words, we can say that it is just representation in the form of mapping. We can easily understand this thing by taking a simple example, that why we need array and why we need some this type of creature. So here I am taking a very simple example. Okay, like imagine you go to a show and need to check your thing. Okay, and there a chest of drawer is available. Then if you store two things here, then you are ready for show. Okay, and this is basically how your computer's memory work, because your computer looks like a giant set of drawers and each drawer has an address. Then each time you want to store an item in memory, then you ask the computer for some space, and it gives you an address where you can store your item. If you want to store multiple items, then there are two ways to do so. Either you can use in the form of array, or you can choose the another form of storing your item in the form of list. Okay, so here we can say that sometime we need to store a list of elements in memory. Then suppose we are writing an app to manage our to-dos work, then we want to store the to-dos as a list in the memory, and then we should use array or linked list in that place. Okay, so now you can understand that why we need array, and here it is represented the example that how the element is arranged in the form of array. So here the representation of array of 5 items, where we will start the first element as on the position 0, then second element is represented as 1, this is the position 2. Similarly, the fourth number shows the fifth element position. Okay, now terminologies. Here you can see that terminology is defined as the elements in an array which are numbered, and this numbering start from 0, not 1. Basically here the total number of elements in an array is just uses in the form of length. So whenever we talk about in this example the length of the array, so it is represented as 5. So when we are using the length as a, then in bracket we will just write 5. So it represents the 5 number of element length. So the detail of array are accessed about its position, and this is generally referred in the form of index or subscript. Okay, so here the first element is generally denoted which is available in the first position, which is in an array we can say that the 0 numbered position, and here the next element is, sorry, this is not the second, this is the last element. So it is just uses the last nth numbered position. Okay, and here if we talk about indexing, as I already mentioned you in the form of length, so here this 0 based indexing is generally correlate with the first element of array which index by subscript of 0, and 1 based indexing is generally the second element of the array and is indexed by subscript 1. And if we are talking here the last number which is the nth number in the array, then here this is called nth based indexing, and here the base index of an array can be freely chosen, because it is usually programming languages allowing the n-based indexing, which allows negative index value, and other scalar data types like enumerations or characters may be used as an array index. So in this form, we will just define the terminology for arrays. Now, categorization of array. Basically, array is a element. In array, elements are stored in the contiguous memory location, and index is always less than the total number of array item. And in terms of syntax, any variable that is declared as an array can store multiple values, as well as almost all languages have the same comprehension of arrays but have different ways of declaring and initializing them. And each element also has its own index which is used to access the element. So by on the basis of these all types of features and categories, we will just define the array into three forms, in which the first one is a one dimensional array, then two dimensional, and third one is a three dimensional array. Rather than these three, there are four dimensional arrays also used somewhere. Okay, so in today's video lecture we will discuss about the one dimensional array, and in my coming video we will discuss on two dimensional and three dimensional array. Okay, now what is one dimensional array? Basically, here one dimensional array is used in the form where insert operation is to insert one or more data element. Now the first one is one dimensional array, and it is known as also linear array, and it requires only one index to access an element. Here you can see example like int array 10, and the list of item of 10 number is represented here in the form of 35, 33, 42, 10, 14, 19, 27, 44, 26 and 31. So here the first one is the name. That means we have to define the data type which we are using. So here it is integer data type. So it is indicated as the name of array, and the type we are using in the form of array, and the size of list which is 10. So here the element index is size 10 is just represented as in this way. Okay, and here the length of element, or we can say that the element of the array are stored respectively in successive memory locations. Okay, so like this 35 is just storing at 0th position, and the 31, which is the last element, is just stored in the 9th position. Okay, now address calculation in one dimensional array. Since array elements are stored in contiguous memory location, and the computer needs not to know the address of every element, but the address of only first element it should know. So here the address of first element is called as base address. Okay, and for the calculation, given the address of first element and the address of any other element is calculated using this formula. So here the address calculation of one dimensional array is just using by this formula in the form AI is represented the array of elements, and this base A. Here the base A is represented as address of first element, and then plus W in bracket I minus LB. Here this I is basically used in the form of index, and W is used as word size, and LB is denote the lower bound. So by using this formula we can just calculate the one dimensional array. So for better understanding that how is this possible, I'm just show you the example of this one dimensional array. Here in this example, given the base address of an array B, which is started from 1300 to 1900 as 1020, and size of each element is 2 byte in the memory. So find the address of B 1700. Now we will solve this 1D representation example. So here first of all we find out the given values from the numerical. So here the given values are B. B means base index. So here B is indicated as 1020. So here I am mentioning 1020. Then lower bound. Lower bound means what? The first value in the index, mean the first value of array. So here the first value is in the form of lower bound is represented as 1300. And then W. W is here is used as word size, which is indicated as 2 bytes. So here I am taking 2. And then I means what? I indicated the ith element which we have to find, that means the address for which we are using and solving this problem. So here this I is mentioning as I is equals to 1700. Then we have to calculate the address value by using the formula which I already mentioned in my previous slide, which is base A plus W I minus LV. So here I am again writing this formula as address of AI is equals to B plus W into I minus LV. Now we just put these value from the proper position to the proper position. So here as base I am just writing 1020. Then plus W is 2. So here I am just putting 2 here. And then I is 1700. So here I am just putting 1700. And then minus LV, lower bound is here 1300. So here this 1300 is putting down. Now we calculate this value. So here when we solve this bracket, then we find out 400, and then we multiply this by 2, and after adding these value we will just find out the final value of this ith address, that means the 1700 address. So it is just 1820. That means the address of base 1700 in memory is 1820. Okay, so in this way we will just able to find out the address value of one dimensional array. And in my coming video we will learn and discuss about what is two-dimensional array and three-dimensional array. And also similarly 1D we will also use some example to solve the problem of 2D and 3D array. This is the assessment which is based on today's video. So here given two one-dimensional matrix, and you have to write a program of two and add these two matrix and store them in the third matrix. You just use any type of matrix, two matrix. This is just depend on you. Okay. Now learning outcomes of today's video lecture. So in today's video we discussed a lot about arrays and categories of arrays. So you now aware about what is actually the array and what type of categories includes in array, and also now you can easily understand that how the one dimensional array is represented, and how the problem is solved of one dimensional array by using and calculating the base address value. And here I just also want to conclude that array represent in the form of multiple data items of the same type using a single name. And in array, the elements can be accessed randomly by using the index number. So basically, array allocate memory in a contiguous memory locations for all element, and there is no chance of extra memory being allocated in case of array. So this generally avoids memory overflow or shortage of memory whenever we are using array. And in short, we can say that array are best for storing multiple values, and arrays are better at processing many values easily and quickly. And here sorting and searching the values is very easier to access and apply. Here are the shallow points, and here are the reference which I have used, in which the first one is a data structure and algorithm by Aho, Hopcroft and Ullman, and the second book I preferred, data structure using C, which is by Rima Tareja. Thank you so much to all of you.